everybody, it's Sheila from Designs by Babymoon, and I want to make sure that I get this in the right place. So we are getting ready to sip and sew together tonight, and I want to make sure that I put this into the our Facebook group. So if you are joining us because you heard about Sip and Sew, we have spent the last 2 nights with 2 of my good designer friends, Jackie Bowman from Elia Jacksford Designs and Amy Lucas from TCD Embroidery Designs. And we've been having so much fun sharing some new projects with you, teaching you some new tips, and just sharing embroidery, all of the embroidery fun that we love to do. So I'm going to put this video, I want it to go into the right place. So I'm going to take it from, hopefully I can get this right, I'm going to take it from the Facebook page and post it into the Facebook group. As many of you know, Facebook changes the algorithm and they change the setup all of the time. And so what you have on your screen may not be exactly what everybody else has on their screen. So I can see it right here. So there are basically, I heard this morning there's 67 different versions of Facebook based on what Facebook feels like you should be having on your computer or your phone or wherever. So I'm going to copy this right now and post it in the group, and so they keep changing things on me. So I decided to go live on the business page because that's the only place where I have buttons that I can control and do what I want to do and get the screen to do what I want to do. So I'm going to put this into the Facebook group so that our group members can see it. And hopefully that will work. So let me see if I can get to the group. There's the group. I'm going to add this. Hi, it's Sip and Sew time. And hopefully that will show up. So earlier today when I was trying to post, I got all kinds of messages from Facebook telling me that I was selling something, and I wasn't. I was just saying, come join our Sip and Sew tonight. They wanted me to boost the post. With boosting means you actually buy space on Facebook for it to get promoted in people's feeds, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to do what I normally always do and talk to you guys. So I was worried that I was going to get put in Facebook jail today, which means I wouldn't be able to go live tonight and do what we had planned. And so thankfully, so far, as of right this minute, I'm not in Facebook jail, and we're here. So let me get this in here. Come join us on the main page. Let's see. Okay. Posting that link. Paste. So what I do whenever I post, and I made the Designs by Babymoon Facebook group, like it's my group, I made it, and Facebook tells me that sometimes when I'm posting in there I'm breaking the rules of my own group, like the rules that I've set there. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, okay, so I posted that in there, and if you're watching, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. It is Saturday. I think it's the right time. It should be 8 o'clock Eastern time. So for those of you wherever you are in the world, I'm glad you're here. For us, I'm in Texas, so it's 7 o'clock Texas time, just after 7. And Facebook says that I'm selling live right now. I'm not actually selling. I'm just going to be showing. If you want to be buying, that's different than me selling. So what I'm doing is I'm demonstrating a new design that we have on the Designs by Babymoon website. So the new design is this Hello Gorgeous zipper bag, and it really is gorgeous. I mean, I think it's gorgeous. It's a fully lined zipper bag made from Minky Cuddle by Shannon Fabrics, and the zipper is at the top, and the lining I'm using is also by Shannon Fabrics, and it is the silky satin from them, and it just makes a super luxurious little gift bag. So it could be a gift bag for graduates or for brides. June is coming up, lots of June weddings, bridesmaids, gifts, all kinds of ways that you could use this Hello Gorgeous bag. It's great for keeping jewelry or makeup or little doodads, anything you need to keep handy. But because it's made from Minky and from satin, it's super luxurious and it's really yummy. I mean, it's the same thing that I make stuffed animals out of. So it's really, really, really luxurious to hold. So what you'll need if you're going to sew along with us tonight, you'll need some Minky, And like I said, I'm using the Minky from Shannon Fabrics. It's called Cuddle, and that's the brand of Minky. Some people call it C3. 3 means that the nap of the pile of the fabric, the length of the fibers is 3 millimeters. So that's why you may hear it referred to as C3. It comes in 100 or more colors. I should have looked that up, how many colors it comes in. And I kind of have turned into a collector. So I'm a brand ambassador for Shannon Fabrics, and they let me teach how to use their fabric to quilt stores and with my group. And so I have fallen in love with this fabric, with the company, with all things Cuddle. The Minky is the absolute best Minky that I've ever used. It is the highest quality. It's made ethically. The factories where it's made at are good factories with good working conditions, and the more I learn about it, the more impressed I am with it. So I wanted to share this project with you because a lot of people know about using Minky for their blankets or their quilts or even for stuffed animals, but I'm kind of like, I like to break the rules and push the limits, and so I'm using Minky to make zipper bags out of that you wouldn't necessarily think to do that. Let me tell you though, when you make a zipper bag out of Minky, especially when you line it with something super luxurious like satin, what you end up with is a project that is so wonderful and luxurious. It's very high end and it's a very impressive gift. So whether you're making it for yourself, which is wonderful, I think you should all make one for yourself, or you're making it for a gift or to make it to sell, you are making a very quality product with the best possible materials. Okay. Now that I've talked all about, I fangirled all over the fabric that we're using, let me tell you what else you'll need. You'll need a zipper, and the kind of zippers that I've recommended for this project are called number 3 zippers. They're dress zippers or garment zippers. They're the kind that you can get in any fabric store in the notions department. Even Walmart has them in their craft sewing area. They're the regular zippers. They may be made by YKK or Talon, or even the generic zippers that you can get on Amazon. These work perfectly for this project, and I've sized the zipper placements specifically for this size zipper because they're so easy to find. You don't have to order them somewhere special. You can get them most anywhere. So a number 3 zipper is what I've used. I've used a little bitty piece of fold over elastic. Fold over elastic is the kind of elastic that sometimes you'll see used as part of lingerie sewing, or it's used for knit fabrics as a fold over edging on quality made t-shirts or swimwear. It's an elastic that has a little line in the middle. It's meant to fold over the edge. It comes in a really wide assortment of colors and patterns and designs, and so we're going to use a little piece of fold over elastic to make a little loop on the side of our zipper bag. You could use a ribbon. Fold over elastic is just something that most people that do crafts or in the hoop projects tend to have around, so that's why I recommend that, but you could use ribbon if you wanted to. I'm also using a little split ring, so like a jump ring that I've attached on my zipper with a faux leather tassel. And when you get the pattern for this bag on the Designs by Babymoon website, there's a complete list of all of the things that you're going to need. For stabilizers, I'm using a cutaway stabilizer that's very soft. Let me show you my package of stabilizer. This is by Thread Art. I get these on Amazon, and it comes in 11 by 11 sheets. You could also get stabilizer on a roll. Let me show you how soft the stabilizer is. It's very pliable. It's not very stiff. So it says that this is a regular cutaway stabilizer, regular weight. So on my package it says that it's 50 grams per square meter if you need something to look for specifically. I've done it with other stabilizers and it works fine, but I like the way this project comes out best when I use a lightweight or a regular cutaway stabilizer. If you don't have anything else, you could also use a poly mesh stabilizer or even a wash away mesh stabilizer. That would work fine too. I like the cutaway because I know it stays in there and it keeps supporting the stitches even after I'm done with the project. But try it and use what you like, what you have on hand. I don't recommend tearaway at all for making this particular zipper bag with the Minky because tearaway is going to be, there's going to be stabilizer left between the outer fabric and the inner lining fabric on the inside that you won't be able to access and remove. So the cutaway is softer and it makes it better. The other thing that you need, I told you need a piece of satin, you need a piece of the Minky, and we'll talk more about this in a minute. You'll need coordinating thread, and then your regular scissors. I also have a little D-ring to put on the fold over elastic. You could use a regular key ring or a lobster clasp, and you'll need, what else will you need? You'll need water-soluble stabilizer. This is, it's kind of filmy. It's not the super clear, but there is a super clear one, but it's definitely the topper kind of stabilizer. It's not the stuff to use on your hoop. You use this on top of your fabric. So this is the water-soluble stabilizer. And then my favorite painter's tape is what you'll need to help hold the lining and the zipper and just some of the parts secure as they're being stitched on in the hoop. So I'm almost out on this roll, so I have a new roll ready to go, and we may be able to switch that and get that started. But any painter's tape will work. I just happen to like the pink one that I got it from Amazon. Okay, before we go any further, let me tell you one thing. So for those of you that are watching the live stream tonight, I have a giveaway, so thank you for being here. And I just really wanted to say thanks. What the giveaway is going to be is I will make you a kit with all of the things that you need to make this yourself. So the winner gets a kit with the Minky and the satin and the fold over elastic and the zipper, and you just tell me what color you want. I have a lot of Minky, and so you just tell me what color you're interested in, and I'll make you a kit that's that color. And I'll also send you one of the new Designs by Babymoon USB drives. And so these are super cute. They've got the Designs by Babymoon logo on it. So if you're a collector of files from Designs by Babymoon, you can use this to keep or to move your files from your computer to your embroidery machine. And I'll just say one more thing about that. I feel like a USB is not a storage device to be used for long-term storage. So I always recommend that you keep your design files on an external hard drive, a secure hard drive that you also back up somewhere else, like to a cloud-based server, like Google Drive or Dropbox or Carbonite, something like that, because you've invested a lot of money in your embroidery design files over the years, and so you don't want to lose them if something happens to your computer or even to your USB drive. These aren't meant to last forever. If we think about them like cassette tapes, they would hold music for a while and then we'd be done with them. So I don't know of many cassette tapes that I still have. You know, I remember wearing out cassette tapes, especially like Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was the first one I had, and I wore it out. So these are not, you know, long-term forever storage in the same way that a CD is not long-term forever storage. But I'm happy to send you one of these because they're super cute and they are super fun to use to go back and forth with your embroidery machine. So that'll be in there, and so you'll get a kit. So the giveaway winner will win that, as well as a copy of the design file that I'll put it on your USB drive and send it to you, but I'll also send you the link to download it too. Okay, let me check in and see who is, if people are in here with us. Y'all are, so thank you for being here. Okay. So let me go into, I want to go to the right place. Okay, I'm not talking to myself. I always think that I'm talking to myself. So I'm glad that you're watching here with us, Tape Goddess. Amy, that's hilarious. I know some people like Scotch tape, but I really like the painter's tape. And I really, you know, I started out using the blue painter's tape from the garage, but when I learned that there was colored painter's tape that you could get on Amazon, I was like, well, I'm going to get some pink tape. Okay, let's get started. So what I've already done is I've already put the design on my embroidery machine. I'm using a single needle tonight. I'm using the 5x7 size. And I've already got my stabilizer in my hoop, tightly hooped, and I've already got the first line of stitching done. So before we do any more, let me tell you about what we're going to do. I'm going to move the camera in a minute so you can see what I'm doing out in front of me, but I'll also move it back and forth. So I think I have an okay setup and I think it's going to work right, but I want you to be able to see all of the things that are going on, because I know that when I started making lined zipper bags, it took me a long time to wrap my head around the entire process. It is a process, and there are some things, and then because we're using Minky and satin, there's extra little things that we have to do to make it work just right. So I want you to see all of the parts of that process. So I'm going to be moving the camera just a little bit. And I'm getting notes from my kids. Like a note. Oh, yes. I'm going to write on this note. Oh, I don't even know what there is.
Anything you want.
Anything I want. I don't even know what this place is. Tell James to pick for me.
Okay, you're getting orange chicken.
Okay, no, I don't want orange chicken.
Lemon chicken.
Lemon. Less. Okay, sorry. I'm making dinner plans. I have little kids that have already eaten, and I have adult children that are going to pick up their own food. And so they were kind enough to include me in their dinner plans, which was sweet. So I love having grown-up kids. They're so much fun. And they're so capable and able to go do their things and bring me something back in the meantime. Super fun. Okay, so let me show you the hoop where I've got it all hooped up. And then the first thing that we're going to do, so you can see that I've already got the placement stitch run. In the tutorial that I included with this, I have a diagram of this outline showing you exactly where to place the zipper, but I'm going to demonstrate that for you so that you see it is a little bit tricky, but I'll tell you why I did it that way when we get to that point. But I have the line already run on here so that that is already done, and we don't have to spend time doing that. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and prep my Minky so it's the right size for placing once we get the zipper tacked down. But I'm going to move the camera so that you can see what I'm doing because I want to show you how to do this. And I need to get one tool. I knew I was going to forget one tool. So this is it. This is the tool I forgot. Let me go grab it over here and try not to knock everything down. So what we need, oh, you know what? I know where it is. It's in this drawer right here. Okay. What we need is a Olfa, like a cutting knife. So this is, there are several versions. It's like a teeny tiny box cutter. And I like this for Minky because I can just cut the back of the fabric and not through all of the fibers, so then I don't have Minky dust or cuddle dust, as we like to call it at Shannon. I don't have that flying all over my sewing room. So when I use a cutter like this, it makes the process a lot cleaner and neater. One of the main things that bugs people using Minky is that it makes such a mess when you try to cut it. But I've learned from the people at Shannon that when we cut their Minky like this with one of these cutters, it controls some of that mess. So let me move my camera so you can see exactly how I'm doing this. So I've got my Minky down on the table in front of me. I don't want to drop this. Okay, there we go. And what I have is a good sized chunk, more than enough for tonight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball the piece that I need. You could measure it out correctly in the tutorial. There are the exact measurements for the design so that you could get exactly a little bit more. It tells you how much bigger you'll need your pieces to be for the front and back. And you could draw that onto the back of the Minky and get those pieces exactly. You could use a ruler to help you measure and get those pieces exactly. And you know, a clear ruler works really great too. I'm making a bag that's 5 by 7, so my piece needs to be at least 6 by 8 for both the front and the back. Another thing that you need to know about Minky is that it's directional. So the Minky has a right and wrong way to run. So if you rub it one way, it's nice and smooth, and if you rub it the other way, you get kind of a ripple effect. You see that? And so you can rub it down. This is the selvage edge. So as it comes off the bolt, this is the edge that was machined as it was being made. And when you rub it across, nothing really happens. I mean, it moves a little bit, but a dramatic effect is from one way to the other. This is up and this is down, and we want all of our fabric on the front and the back to both be going down at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember which way the nap is going so that when I cut my pieces, it's going down from the zipper on both the front and the back. So I'm going to need a piece that's at least 8 inches wide and at least 6 inches deep. And so I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are approximately that size. If you're a measurer and you want to measure that accurately, then I think that is wonderful. I'm not. I'm an eyeballer. So I'm going to just barely slice through with my super sharp blade the backing. I'm not pressing super hard because it is just enough to slice through the backing and pop that out without trimming a lot of the, you can see how that moves. I may need a new blade here. There we go. Without trimming, hello, I did that. A lot of the fuzz out of the top. Let's get that just right. Sorry about that. I don't have as much room on the top here as I thought I did. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to go down just a little bit more. And like I said, you could mark this out. And I don't have a lot of fuzz at all. If I had just cut this with regular scissors, I'll just do it and show you. Sometimes what ends up happening is you get a bunch of this fuzz and then it gets all over the place. So it sheds kind of like, you know, cat fur. And you could use your scissors and then clean that up if you wanted to. I just prefer going at it carefully with this Olfa knife just to control some of the mess. I'm making mine a little bit bigger than 6 inches, but you do what feels right to you, or you measure accurately, whatever, it's fine. The nice thing about doing in the hoop projects with embroidery is that the machine does a lot of the work for us. So we trim off the excess when we take the project out of the hoop, and we don't have to worry about a lot of the mess. So that's it. Our Minky is cut out. I'm going to flip both my pieces over. One of them's a little bit larger than the other, and I'm going to make sure that my nap is going the right way still. Okay. And then on the back, so this is the top and it's going down this way. It's the top and it's going down this way. I'm going to flip them over again, and I'm going to write T on the back with a Sharpie right in the middle so that I know that this edge is my top edge that I need to align for both of these pieces. So I just get that on straight. So now my Minky is ready to go. I'm going to set it aside, and let's work on placing the zipper on our hoop. Okay. So I've got my hoop right here. You can see the placement stitch, right? Let's see if I want to get you a little bit. There we are, right here. Okay. I've got my zipper here. The color that I'm using of Cuddle is called Champagne, by the way, and so I picked a khaki colored zipper. I'm going to switch to white thread in just a minute. I just used the darker so you could see the outline placement stitch. Let me put the right fabric behind it. Maybe you can see that a little bit better, that outline. It's hard to get, there you go, you can see it. So this outline has an outline that goes all the way around, as well as an extra line through the middle, and this defines the area where we're going to put the zipper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch my thread. This spool is almost out, but I just wanted to make sure that you could see that line. And I'm going to be using white thread because my lettering is going to be in white, and everything else will be fine. The champagne color will be fine with the white thread. So if you're curious, the machine I'm using tonight is my Baby Lock Flourish, which is a machine that has a 6x10 hoop, and I love it for videos because it's nice and quiet. So I've used my multi-needle on videos, and it's very loud. So let's see. Okay, so this is how we place the zipper. Now, I like my zippers on my bags to come from the left side to open up this way, to the right. And I don't know why, but that's the way my brain works. If you want your zipper to come from the other side, that's totally fine. You can put the opening of the zipper, you can flip it the other way around. That's totally fine. I'm going to put mine this way because that's what makes sense in my head. And where I'm going to place my zipper is right down the middle. I want the teeth to go right down the middle of this channel. Okay? And I could have put a line for you to line up those teeth on, but I think we can all figure out where the middle of a space that's 1/2 inch is. And I'm going to put some tape just to hold it in place there. I'm not taping anywhere where the stitching is going to be. I'm taping outside of the stitching lines, but I want to make sure that that the zipper is going to be held right in the center of that channel. And this painter's tape is really nice because it doesn't get all weird on me, and if I need to move it a little bit, I can. I just want to hold this in place so that when the machine is stitching it down, it's generally in the right area. Okay, and I'm just going to double check. Yep, that's good in the middle. That's good. And I'm going to let the machine now. Oh, y'all fell over and I didn't even notice. Should I show you again? Let me show you again what I did. I'm sorry I didn't notice that you fell over. Let's go back. I'm going to put my zipper here. We're going to start with new tape. I have my zipper. I'm going to place it over this channel right here. And I want the teeth to be right in the middle of this channel. So we can kind of eyeball it, and I can hold it down with a piece of tape. And here my tape did run out. I should have just switched that before. And I didn't. I thought, no, it'll be fine. But I didn't have quite enough. That's why my tape wasn't sticky, because it was the end. It was the end of the tape. This little, I do love having my own dispenser for masking tape. So that does make it nice and easy because I use it all the time. And I know y'all know I'm a big fan of 505 spray too, but the masking tape is wonderful as well. Okay, I'm going to get a good piece of masking tape that is actually sticky, and I'm going to use it to tape down the end of the zipper. My teeth are going right down the middle of that channel. I'm double checking when I get over here, and I'll put another piece of tape outside the stitching line to hold the zipper down. Okay? All right, now I can put it back on the machine, and I'm going to let the machine stitch down each side of the zipper. Okay, so let's watch the machine as this goes. I'm using my computer to stream this, so I'm hoping that we have a good enough angle. I feel like when I'm using my phone, I can't do a wide enough view for everybody to be able to see clearly. Okay, so it's stitched down one side of the zipper. The design file will stop. Mine's cutting the thread, and it's ready to stitch down the other side of the zipper. I'm going to put this aside for now. Okay, we've got our zipper stitched on. And now the machine is ready to add the Minky for the front. So you could just slide your Minky on there and place it in place. I'm going to take mine off the machine, my hoop off the machine, so I can show you what's happening and what will need to happen with your piece of Minky. This is all detailed for you also in the tutorial. So, but I think there is, you know, I just want to make sure that you know what's going on. So I'm going to take the smaller piece for the front, but both sides are almost nearly the same. And remember, we marked the T on the top to show us which way the nap was going down. That line that says T, I'm going to fold over just a bit, about 1/2 inch, a little bit less. And I'm going to place it right over the line of stitching. See if I can move that again and show you. I'm placing that folded edge right over the line of stitching that we put on the zipper to hold the zipper down. So my nap is going this way. My folded edge is right under here. So don't worry about if that edge is totally straight or not. And I'm going to give it a little bit of tape outside the stitching area. But I know that my Minky is behaving nicely for me. The fold is almost up to the teeth, but not quite at the teeth. Because Minky has a pile, if you get it right up to the teeth, you're going to have fibers caught in the zipper, and you don't want that. We all know what it feels like to have, you know, something caught in your zipper. I'm I'm going to move this piece of tape because it's flopping over and I don't want it to get stuck on anything. Get that out of there. Okay. I'm going to put in the hoop back in the machine. Maybe so you can see that just a little bit. Not quite. There it is. Okay. Because we want to watch this stitch down this front part of the bag. And I will say too, one thing I do, if you have both a single needle and a multi-needle, I really like doing zipper bags and kind of fiddly in the hoop projects like this on a single needle because I feel like I have more time. It doesn't go as fast and I'm not going to get bit. Those of you that have a multi-needle know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to help hold this down. If you need to, you could use a chopstick or something. My tape is holding it pretty secure, so I'm just going to make sure as it goes down, it's perfect. Okay? So it's going to come back with a secure bean stitch. Almost done stitching it. Now we've got several things that we're going to be flipping in and out. And so this is where I think I told you, I didn't tell you in the beginning, you're going to need some 505 spray. So when I use 505 spray, generally what I do, and I'm going to do that tonight, I spray in a well ventilated area. 505 spray does not have an odor, but it does have, you know, non-volatile components that I don't want to breathe. And as I've gotten older, I've developed some asthma, and I don't want to aggravate that. 505 spray generally does not aggravate it, but I still like to make sure I've got plenty of ventilation. This is my friend, the taco box. So I will put my hoop in here and give it a, I'm going to take this just right outside the door here, spray it outside on my patio. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift this part up. So this is secured down to our zipper. I can remove this tape on the edges. And I'm going to lift this part off like a book. And I'm going to spray this area. So let's spray. I'll be right back. Here we go, we're sprayed. We're back. Let's close the door so the cats don't come in. And I'm going to take, and I can put my taco box down. And I'm going to take this Minky and I'm going to smooth it back down, and now it's stuck to the stabilizer. The nice thing about Minky is that I like to keep petting the nap down so that it goes the right way. I am looking at my thing. Did this get frozen? Spray. I came back in and I've put the Minky, I smoothed it back out down on the hoop. I'm going to put it on the machine and I am going to let it start stitching the lettering. So what I need to do right now is double check that everybody can see this wherever we are. So I'm going to make sure this is showing the machine. It's showing the machine. Stay working the way we set it up. So, oh, you know what? All that happened and I got carried away. I'm gonna cut my thread because I forgot to tell you a critical thing to do at this point right here. Before we start stitching, and I'll share it in the group in just a minute, but before we start stitching the lettering, we need to put down some water-soluble stabilizer. This is really important when you're stitching with Minky, and I can show you why. So I didn't start stitching with water-soluble stabilizer on top, and you can see that my stitches are a little bit rumply and crumply, and they're falling down into the pile of the Minky. We're gonna go back and do that again, and we're gonna do it while we have the water-soluble stabilizer on top of where we're gonna stitch the lettering. Now this is only for this step. After this step is over, we can remove the water-soluble stabilizer. I'm gonna use a little bit of tape, and I'm going to tape it down, make sure that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to tape it to the edge of my hoop, and I'm just taping the, the water-soluble stabilizer the way I get it on a roll. This is a little roll that you can use this size for lots of things. I use it for hats a lot, but it's also perfect for these in the hoop bags. I just need, a little bit. It's kind of fiddly and it's kind of rumply and it's kind of finicky, but it does exactly what we need it to do. So I don't want it to get all floppy all over the place. So I'm going to make sure it's taped really well so it's not going anywhere and it doesn't get caught on the foot of my embroidery machine. So I'm going to trim off those pieces there. Okay, let's put this back on the machine. And now I'm going to back up just a little bit. I'm not going to back up all the way to the beginning, but I'm going to back up a little bit. There we go. And let that keep stitching. Okay? And hopefully that will work. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send the video again back into the group. Whew, thank y'all for being patient with me. You never know what's going to happen on Facebook Live. Okay, I'm going to share this into the group. And Favette and Catherine, I see you. I can see that you're here, so thank you for being here. And I'm going to put this in my group, Designs by Babymoon. And so, I mean, the way Facebook even works, like sometimes I can't even find this group, the very group that I created to hang out with you guys. Facebook just doesn't show it to me on my thing. Okay, I've got it posted into the group. So if you're watching here again, I'm gonna go through. I'll go through the comments, I promise, and of both videos, and see who's watching, and we'll pick a winner. And Catherine, I can see that you were here. Jill Oli, thank you for posting this somewhere else. Brenda, I see you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. And Brenda and Catherine and all of you guys who are being so patient with me. And I see Lori, I see Diane, I see Vicky, I see Nancy. I hope that you guys are having good weather. I'm personally thrilled that we are not having terrible weather because it was supposed to thunderstorm tonight, and we've had our share of storms. We're done. I'm done. I'm done with storms for the year. So, okay, Tammy, I see you. Amy, I see you. Cindy, hi Cindy. Hi Jackie. I think there's something going with the internet. Yeah, there's always something going on with my internet. Nancy, hi Nancy. Oh, Nancy. What? There's two Nancys. Nice. Okay. Hi Mavis. Hi Janice. Hi Amanda. I love Minky too. Okay, I'm just checking the comments. Bev says you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, because it's frozen. Debbie, how do we get you back? If y'all will check the next video, let me put the link on it right here. I'm going to put, we're having May Gray. May Gray. Oh, y'all are all back. Thank you so much for coming back. Kathy, Bev, this is your first time here with us. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you joined us, and I'm sorry for the craziness. This is how things happen here. I have a bunch of kids, and they're all playing Minecraft right now, and we're almost done with school, and so I've kind of relaxed the rules a little bit, and that's what's keeping them busy today. I thought it was going to keep everybody happy, but I have to share the internet with them. Okay, May Gray. So I guess that's what technically it is. I love cloudy days and I love rainy days. I don't like storms, but I really love cloudy days. And I live in South Texas where it's always like hot and sunny. And so when we have cloudy days, I get really excited. We had a nice cloudy day today, and then it started raining, and that wasn't fun. But now we have sun, so, you know, wait 5 minutes and the weather will change. That's how it is around here. Okay, we're stitching, and if you weren't on the first time, we're stitching the Hello Gorgeous zipper bag. This is a fully lined zipper bag made with Minky on the front and back, and then satin on the inside. It's fully lined. There's no raw edges, so it's all the edges are finished on the inside. It's gorgeous. It's really, really nice for holding jewelry, for like a travel bag, and we get to travel again. So I'm so excited, and I hope that all of our numbers keep going down here so that we can all travel again freely without restrictions. So I'm hopeful for that. So I'm getting ready. We have a little family getaway planned for in about 3 weeks, and so we don't have any new travel gear. So I'm making, you know, we're making luggage tags, and we're making all the things that we need to get ready. So that's kind of fun because we haven't gone anywhere. My little guys literally have not left our neighborhood. They've gone to the doctor when they needed to go to the doctor, and they've gone to the grocery store just a couple of times, like when, like if they've been with me for just to get out of the house and drive in the car, but they haven't been in any store in forever. So I'm not sure that we all know how to act in public. So this will be, you know, this is kind of a process. But we're almost done stitching. We're on the R on Gorgeous. My older kids went and they were picking up food for them and for me. I've already learned about awesome pink painter's paint pizza box. Minky isn't the devil. So Nancy, yeah, that's the thing. And so I think a lot of people start out with that idea, and some Minky is the devil. So you're not too far off. Some Minky is really not fun to stitch on. When I first learned about the Shannon Fabrics Minky and got some and then started using it, I'm like, oh, this really is different. So I have to confess that, you know, I like to save some money and I like to try something that's a little bit less expensive and, you know, use that, make do. The Shannon Fabrics Minky is a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to tell you, it is so much easier to work with than any other Minky that I've used. It's pretty stable. So this is the part, no, this is my back piece, so I don't want to really mess with that. This is the scrap, and I cut that Minky part off. So it doesn't have a whole lot of stretch. It has a little bit of crosswise stretch, okay? Like a little bit, but not a lot. So this is a 5-inch piece, and I can only stretch it, I can't stretch it a full 2 inches more. So if I cut a 10-inch piece, I wouldn't be able to stretch it more than 4 inches. So that's a 20% stretch. I think my math is right there. So it's not a lot of stretch. So it's still considered a knit fabric because it is knitted. The backing is a knitted fabric, and it does have some stretch, but it's not as stretchy as other Minky. And when I started using this, I was so surprised at how stable it was, and it sews beautifully. Now, because it's Minky, there are some, you know, it's got the pile, and it's got a right way and a wrong way. It has a little bit of stretch, so there's things that we're doing here to keep it stable so that we can make it do what we want to do. But I've learned that if we just stabilize it really well, appropriately for what we're making, and be super careful with how we put it together, we can get some really fabulous results. So this bag actually doesn't stretch because it's got that cutaway stabilizer in there, and then it's got my satin lining on the inside. So the bag itself is not stretchy anymore, it's stable. You could, if you wanted to, line this with a stable interfacing like SF101, which is kind of a, it's not over here, it's on the other side of the room. Or I get it, but it's a woven interfacing that you would fuse onto the back, and it essentially turns it into a more stable, not at all stretchy fabric. You could do that. I think that it adds some stiffness that I don't want in this project because I want this to be soft. You know, I want it to be, I feel like the softness is part of the magic of a bag like this, especially when you're giving it as a gift, or, you know, for bridesmaids or for girls for graduation. I just think it's so luxurious, and I don't want to alter it too much. I do want to add some beautiful embroidery, and I do want a positive message on the back, so that's why I write "Hello Gorgeous" on it. So, but yeah, it's not the devil that I suspected it might be to sew. And you know, there's always things to learn, and I'm still learning about different things that I can do with it. But I like to push the limits. I have another bag. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Let me show you this bag while that's almost done stitching. This one is a bag pattern that I've made that has the pattern comes with a cotton insert that you could fill with rice. So you could heat this insert up if you made it out of cotton, and you stitch it with cotton thread, and then you fill it with rice, and then you whip stitch it with cotton thread. So that the whole thing's cotton. You could throw this in the microwave, and then you put it inside this unlined zipper bag. So you put the warmed up pouch inside this one. And this is also the same Shannon Fabric Spinky, and it's made pretty similarly. There's a few things different because it's unlined, but then you have a nice warm bag, and it's that same luxurious feel, except you just have the warm power of the cotton insert inside. So just a lovely, it's just, you know, it makes you feel good when you touch it. Okay, our Hello Gorgeous is done stitching. So I'm going to take the hoop off the machine, and we're going to get rid of some of this tape, and I'll show you what we've got so far. Okay, ta-da! Hello, gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is make sure you can see. So I got to move that again. I think you can see me. And I'm going to start taking the tape off. Now, I don't want to wiggle this too much in the hoop. Do y'all get those spammy text messages? I get those spammy ones. That was one of the spammy ones. I'm going to just pull this water soluble stabilizer off carefully so that I'm getting all of it that's all around off. After I get this completely done, I'll worry about picking it out of the inside with some tweezers or a stiletto. But right now I just need to get this all off. Any part that could get caught on my foot, really. That's done. We're done with that. We can throw that away. Throw that extra tape away. I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off my zipper because it was held down exactly where I wanted it to be. So I can take that tape off. And I used to, you know, even with the tape thing, I would want to reuse that. You know, life is short. Tape is cheap. Just use a new piece of tape. It's okay. The next thing that this design is going to do is it's going to stitch a little placement stitch right here. Okay, so we're going to let it stitch that placement stitch, and then we're going to put a piece of fold over elastic. I'm going to cut about 3 inches off of my roll here, maybe a little bit more. I told you I'm not a measurer, I'm an eyeballer. Put that pin back in so it doesn't come all crazy. I'm going to take my little D-ring and then go over that so it's looped around there, and then this raw edge I'm going to make sure is hanging off after across this line of stitching. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let's let it stitch the placement line for the hardware. I do want to see what y'all are saying, so I need to turn my phone back on. I'll do that while this next piece is stitching. So here's our placement stitch right there. I'm going to lay the hardware with the raw ends. These are the raw ends coming outside the stitching line. So they're outside. Now I want to make sure there's at least an inch inside. You can cut it closer and you can put it up closer if you want to, but this metal piece you don't really want to get caught in your stitching at all at any time. And we have some more work to do. We have to add a backing piece, we have to add the lining, so I want a little bit more room to be able to manipulate that so it's out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna move it so I have about an inch of fold over elastic, you know, doubled over, so that D-ring is about an inch away from the edge, and then I'm gonna tape it down. Oh, you know what? That's what that is. That's not a spam call. That's my oldest son, who is now a college graduate. Maybe he's sending me the graduation stuff. It was all virtual, and his group of people is not doing a walk across the stage graduation, so maybe that's what he's sending me. Okay, anyway, so he's here. We were actually joking about it, taking pictures in the kitchen. I'm going to put the foot of the embroidery machine down. Now, this fold over elastic can get caught in your embroidery foot. So let me move this so you can see. And I can't bring that closer, I would. But if you can tell right here, it's cutting it close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure, I'm actually going to go around to the back side of my machine and hold this down so that it's not going to get caught. This foot's not going to go under that fold over elastic. It's going to go across the top. And I'm kind of pushing that fold over elastic underneath right now to start with. But you know, you never know what your machine's going to decide to do, and so it might decide to get up in there anyway. So let me get that started and get that stitched down, but I'm holding it down just a little bit until we're all clear. All right, we're all clear. We're good. Okay. You know, you just never know what could happen, and I just want to make sure it's not going to be bad. Okay. Now we've got our fold over elastic and the little hardware on, and I'm going to take that same piece of tape right there. I know I told you to just get a new piece of tape, but I'm just going to take that same piece of tape that we used real quick, and I'm going to take that piece of hardware and get it away from this line and away from the edge. So I'm getting it away from the stitching line here, and I'm getting it away from the outer stitching line here. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that, and I'm taping the hardware out of the way on top of the Minky, is that I don't want to hit this metal D-ring with the needle of my embroidery machine at all, ever, never. I don't want to do that. So I'm taping it out of the way so it'll stay in the right place. And I'll do that a couple of times. The next thing that the design file will do is it will stitch on the inner front piece of lining, the lining that is on right behind this on the inside of the bag. So again, I'm just eyeballing my satin and cutting a chunk that is, see, I didn't even cut that right. And I can cut a straight line, y'all. I can cut a straight line, but I didn't. And I'm going to take and flip over my hoop. So as you can see, I flipped over my hoop, and this is the back. And I'm going to take this piece of satin, and just like we did on the front, I'm going to fold it over so that there's about a ½ inch, and I'm going to make a nice crisp line. If you want to, you could iron a pleat in that. And I am just placing it over the stitching line that held the bottom of the zipper on. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see that. So here's the line of stitching. There's the top and there's the bottom. The zipper teeth are right in the middle of that. I'm just going to cover this bottom line with the folded edge of the satin. So let me do that, and then I'll bring it up to here. And then, you know, we're going to use tape again, and I'm going to tape this down within an inch of its life. And I'm using all the tape. And this could be why, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this a little bit because I have so much. It's too much for the back of the hoop. And I don't want it flopping around. So you might want to be a little bit more careful than me. I do want that to be a nice line. And I'm going to tape this side down as well. And I'm going to give it one more piece right here on the bottom. If you need to, you could put a piece of tape here, but I don't like picking tape out of my stitching, so I'm not going to put a piece of tape along this edge. So I've got it pretty well secured on these 3 edges, but if you feel like you need it, you could put a piece of tape there and then pick that out. I'm not going to do that. Just because I don't like picking the tape. And I'm going to let it run the next step, which will stitch the satin, that lining down. Okay. And I'm going to go back here. Hi, Sophie. I can see that you're here. Hi, Carolyn. Can this be made using something other than Minky? Can vinyl be used? Nancy, I don't know that you could use fabric for sure. You could use vinyl if it's a really soft vinyl. I wouldn't use something that's super thick. You could use, I mean, you could totally use vinyl for my punk embroidery. That's good for embroidery. I wouldn't, you know, I would want to make sure that it's super soft. You could use like ultra suede. I would stick to things that are softer. And the reason that I'd stick to things that are softer is because the opening on the, which one is it? Oh, thank you. My food just got here, my delivery service. 3 pounds of food. Thank you. The opening on, let me see how large it is. I think it'd be hard to turn through the opening, so I didn't finish sewing this one down yet. And I think if you did vinyl, it would be hard to turn. There's 2 turning inside, right side out processes, and I think if you used a thicker vinyl, it would be hard to turn. But if you were using something thinner, like a canvasy vinyl, like the glitter vinyl, the glitter canvas from My Punk Embroidery, or something in the Diamond Dust line from My Punk Embroidery, you could totally use that, and that would be soft enough to turn through the 2 birthing processes. So, and you could use fabric, of course. I mean, any fabric. Okay, let's see. And then regular cotton fabric, you could totally use that on the inside. Okay, so we've got our back piece of the front of the lining on. Now we're going to add the second piece of Minky on the top. Okay, so let me take the hoop off the machine again and show you how I add the top piece. Now, you kind of want to make sure that this edge is cut, this top edge right here is cut pretty straight. So because we use the X-Acto knife, and we, you know, if you used a ruler, it'd be great. I'm going to just line it up with the top edge of the zipper and not have so much hanging off up here. Okay, so it's not like that. It's not fully covering that. I'm just lining the top edge of the Minky up with the top edge of the zipper tape. But I do want it to cover the zipper. So because I want to be sure that it's covering, I'm going to tape it down. And I learned this technique from somebody on our Facebook group a couple of years ago. And it's really a great way to make sure that your embroidery machine foot isn't going to hit that zipper stop. So we're almost to that point, and so I'm really excited about this. I love doing my zipper bags this way, and I'm excited to show you how I do it. So I've got my bag back on the machine, and I'm going to push go, and this is going to stitch a line across the top of that zipper tape, holding the back piece of Minky down. Okay, so that I use that little T at that edge to make sure that the nap of the Minky is going so that it's smooth on the front, and on the back it's going down the same way. It probably doesn't really matter, and it would be okay, but I just like the way it feels when they're both going the same way. I feel like that's a more careful application. Okay, so we've got our Minky tacked on. This part is really pretty important. So I'm going to take my hoop off the machine and I'm going to open it up and move the camera again so you can see what I'm doing, because I think this part is magic. So I'm taking my tape off again and I'm going to open this like a book. So we've opened it before when we sprayed 505 under here. Now I'm going to open this side, and what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to open my zipper. Okay? Now I need to stop before the edge over here where the stitching ends. I don't want to zip it all the way down to my zipper stop. You can see my beginning and end of the zipper is well out of the stitching area, so I'm not going to hit any metal ever. This is a nylon zipper. But I don't want it to go, you know, I need it to go, this is where it's going to end, so if I finish the bag and my zipper pull is way out here, this will be open, but your zipper will not be functional. And you certainly would, if you cut it off, that would be it. That would be the end of it. So I'm going to open it most of this way, and then I'm going to, I'm going to open it most of this way, and then I'm going to close my book. Okay? Now, I'm going to flip my book over, and I'm going to put the second piece of satin on, and I'm going to flip this. I'm not going to worry about where the top is or anything, or folding anything over. I'm just going to cover the back side. Okay, and again, I have too much, so I need to cut it a little bit closer because that's rather unwieldy on the back. So I'm just trimming around these parts where it's obviously too much satin. And then I'm going to do more tape to tape it down to my hoop. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm doing it wrong. I'm not taping the satin down yet. Sorry. Let's back up a little bit. I closed my book. I knew that if I didn't print off my tutorial that I would mess this up. And I was thinking, wait a minute, there's something else that happens. We closed the book of that zipper. Let's move this back here. We closed that book. We're going to do the next step, which stitches this down, the Minky. Okay, then we're going to put the backing on. Okay, so in my head, I was trying to flip it in my head, and I was thinking, wait, that's not going to work. Sorry. We've opened our book, opened our zipper. We're going to stitch down the Minky. The zipper pull is well out of the way. I think it's out of the way. Now I got to double check again, because I want to make sure that my Minky zipper's not going to hit. I'd rather check twice rather than not check and then hit my zipper something metal with my needle, and then the needle breaks and the foot bends and all kinds of things could happen. So it's like measure twice, cut once, that kind of thing. So check twice, don't break a needle. And I'm only aware of doing that because I have messed up plenty of times before. So, okay. What this is doing is this is giving us a nice finished edge on the bottom of the outside of the zipper bag, so that there's no hand sewing that happens on the outside at all. This will be totally sealed up. We open the zipper so that we can flip it right side out when we get to that part. The opening for flipping will happen in the satins when we put the satin on the back. So that's where the opening for that will be. Okay, now we're in the right place. Ooh, that was a close call. I feel like that would have been more disastrous than losing the internet if I had not caught that step. But we made it, so here we are. Okay, now we'll put the satin on. I'm putting the satin right sides together on the back. So the right side of my satin is touching the right side of this satin. Before I do that, I'm actually going to open up the zipper area. So I'm going to use a seam ripper. I guess I should have put that in the list of what we needed for tonight. And this is why I don't have a line of stitching down the center of this area because if you're using a seam ripper or something tiny to cut away your cutaway stabilizer right here, and you have extra stitching that you have to cut through that maybe goes down here as like kind of a guideline, it is really hard to get that out. Okay, and it just makes it harder to cut through. Then you've got this stop, and you can cut, you could tear something you don't want to tear, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just using my seam ripper to just cut that away. Okay, and just go slow. If you want to cut away extra threads right now, you can do that too. Most of them are going to be covered up by this back piece of satin, so keep it clean and tidy, but don't worry about it too much. Don't stress too much about it. I'm going to move this piece of tape because it looks a little close to that edge, and I'm going to put this piece of satin over the top of this now. Now we're ready. We're almost done. This is it. And I love talking through this. It reminds me, you know, it reminds me to do the right thing and not cut corners when I'm sewing. So there's some accountability there, and I need that. But it also, you know, I think we all learn differently, and so some people can learn about it from reading about it. Like I said, it took me forever to figure it out. When somebody asked me to make a lined zipper bag, I really couldn't even wrap my head around it, and I actually had some sweet designer friends that kind of guided me along and told me how to do it. So I'm grateful, so grateful that I have good friends that help me out when I need it. Speaking of friends, if you guys have not made it over to Jackie Bowman's Elliot Jacksford Design Group and Amy Lucas's TCD embroidery group, y'all need to go over there, and you need to join their groups, and you need to start commenting and being active over there. They are some of my favorite people. They're so much fun, and they make really amazing designs. I am so honored that Jackie asked me to hang out and participate in this with them, and we've had a lot of fun just getting to know each other, and they're great, wonderful people, and they just make fabulous designs, and I think that you'll really love getting to know them. I see something that I don't like. Okay, I don't know what just happened here, but something just happened here. And my foot got caught on a thing, and I don't know exactly what I did wrong there. I tried to make sure that I wasn't going to bump anything, but I obviously bumped something. And I think I know what happened. So I'm going to take this off, and I'll tell you what I know happened. I put tape on the back because I could hear it, and sure enough, one of those pieces of tape wiggled around and then got it caught and kind of made it stick a little bit where it wasn't supposed to stick. So I'm finding that I didn't believe it for a long time. Some embroidery machines, and this one's fairly new to me, they work differently than others. I mean, I know they're not all the same, but they have their quirks, and so this one's got its quirks, and one of its quirks, I love it, but is that things get stuck on the bed a lot. I don't know if it's that the material that it's made out of is stickier than other embroidery machines, but things get stuck there, and so I wasn't careful with that tape, getting it taped down all the way, and so that's what happened. My tape got stuck, and so it didn't go down as far as it should have. But it's done, so we're going to keep going. So our back is stitched on, our front is stitched on. You can see this is where it got stuck, and so it didn't go all the way down to the edge where it was supposed to, but it's fine because it's within where we need to be, so we're just going to go with it. But it happened. So there's another thing that happened. At least we've maintained stable internet for a few minutes. So now we can take it out of our hoop. If you want to, you could get super precise and cut this out again with the X-Acto knife. I'm going to be a little bit sloppy and just cut this with my scissors, and I'm going to have to use my handheld vacuum to dust bust a little bit of this dust away. But you know, you can use the same. You know what? Let's just do the right thing. Did I put it back in this drawer? Did I put it somewhere else? I can't do the right thing. I'm not equipped. that drawer is a mess. So if I put it in there, it's too dark and scary in there to see. So I'm just going to cut it. Otherwise, I would use my cutter so that I don't have cuddle dust, Minky dust everywhere. I'm just going to cut about 1/4 inch away from the edge. I'm giving it a little bit closer to the corners. I'm going to cut up across this line at the bottom. Again, 1/4 inch away at the corners. Up this side. And then I'm just going to cut off the rest of this satin and stabilizer. That's done. We can move that out of the way. Okay, so now we have our bag. I'm going to give this a little bit more attention. In these corners right here at the bottom, where there's this little opening, I'm going to notch those into the corners. I'm not going into the stitching. I'm just going up almost to the stitching. And what that'll do is it'll make that part where you flip it in a little bit nicer and cleaner. So now we have this opening right here. It's not between the Minky's sewed together, but it's between the pieces of satin. Okay, so I'm going to go in here between the satin and I'm going to give it a flip. Give it a flip. Flip it once. This is the first part, so we're going to flip twice. So this is the first flip. And I'm using my thumb to get the corners nice, to push those corners out. You could use a bone tool, folder, or something a little bit more precise. I wouldn't poke too hard because your fabric, this fabric is pretty strong and durable, but I just want to make sure that I'm not stressing it out too much. I'm also going to poke really good up here at the corner where the zipper is. And then on this side, I'm going to make sure that I flipped that rounded edge on the top of the opening of the zipper. I'm going to make sure that I've poked that in real good right there. Okay, we've got this is our inside. That's the fully lined part of the inside. Now we're going to flip it again through the open zipper area. And all that's left to do right here is to sew up that opening where we flipped the satin. So we can sew that opening up. You can use a little bit of Fabri-Tac glue. You could hot glue it. You could do all kinds of things to close that up. And you're done. Here is the front of our bag. I'm going to zip it up. I'm going to zip it a little bit and finish poking that out really well with my finger so that I have nice rounded corners. And I'm going to show you another trick with Minky. So one of the things that people, there you go, look how pretty. One of the things that people find with Minky is that some of the fibers get caught along the edges, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you look right here, it kind of looks like somebody with a bad haircut. Right there, see that part where the fibers are parting away from each other? This is a tool called a stiletto. This one is from by Annie, byannie.com. You can see that. And it has a really fun, not fun. This is not fun. That's a really dangerous point on it. But this dangerous point, if you rub it right here along those fibers, they're going to pop up. And that really awkward part where the fibers are caught in the seam are going to fluff back out really nicely. I can't believe I said that was fun. There's nothing fun about danger. I promise that Jackie, if you're drinking something, I haven't had anything to drink actually. The last thing I had to drink today was a Starbucks cinnamon dolce latte with almond milk and no whip. That's my drink. And I only got it because I had to go sit while I waited for new tires on my car. And that was the only reason I went to Starbucks. I wasn't going to go, but since I was going to be there for an hour, I needed some coffee so I wouldn't fall asleep before I did this. Okay, I'm just rubbing that stiletto all along the seam lines, and voila, the awkward part is gone. The zipper bag is done. And now you can take a tiny little jump ring, which I bought some over here. I brought my jump rings. I brought my big box of tassels. And I'm going to put a little tassel on the zipper. And so these jump rings that I got, I think it was like a pack of 20, 30 or so from Hobby Lobby in the jewelry section. These are the split rings that kind of have a double opener thing. You could use a jump ring opener, which, Amy, if you've got your jump ring opener, I forgot to grab mine, so it's across the room. But I'm going to just slip it. These aren't terrible, so I hope I don't lose what little nails I have left. I'm just going to slip it on the opening of my zipper, and then I'm going to pick out a tassel and slip the tassel on before I have to go all the way around with it. And then spin that all around. And I'm done. Look how cute. Y'all, isn't that gorgeous? Hello, gorgeous. So it's gorgeous. It is for your gorgeous friend, whoever you're making this for. I just think we cannot tell each other as women, girls, enough about our own inherent beauty and worth. So go make something gorgeous for you or for your friends. Let me check and see if we're talking about this. Inside the group, I see Kimberly Miller. Hi, Kimberly. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Okay, and then let me check on the page. And we are going to pick, let's see. Here it goes. Here's the old one. And then let me check on the new video and make sure we don't have any comments. Let me move the camera so I can talk to you instead of you looking at my table, which is a mess now. But I hope it wasn't too bad. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Where's the page? Page. 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 Okay. See, I told you, like, Facebook hides it from me. So it takes me forever to do anything on Facebook now at all. I can't find the video. There's the video. Is it still on or did I freeze again? Part 2? Oh my goodness. Are we even on there? I think we're still on. I can't tell. You know what? I'm just gonna have to have somebody help me do videos from now on. I just need a I need tech support. I need tech support. I'm just gonna say, okay, let me see what you asked. Lynn says, what are the jump ring openers? Where do you get them? The jump ring openers are a little pair of pliers. I'm gonna go over here and see if I can get them. Let me just grab it. It's in this drawer with my pliers. Over here. There they are. These are them. They're called jump ring openers, and they have a little grabby that opens the ring for you and makes it so that you don't have to use your fingernail to open those rings up. They're great. Perfect. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it any place that has like jewelry making supplies. So Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, order it on Amazon. If you do, you know, real jewelry, I know Fire Mountain Gems or Rio will have them as well. So I got those at one of those places. The little tassels, they come in a plastic bag. I get them from Amazon, and they're like $7 for 100 of assorted colors. And they have small ones, and there are the larger ones. This size is the 1-inch size, or 1.25 inch, I think. And they work great for these little bags. You can use a longer one on the bigger bag, and so it just has a little bit more drama, a little bit more drama, more fun. More drama, more fun. Is that more fun? I don't know if that's more fun. Amazon, let's see. What else? Anybody else? Oh, hey, Angie. It's nice to see you. Amy, Jackie, thank you for saying Amazon. Yeah. I think that's it. If you have any questions, I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to go through. I can see who all's watching, and so I'm going to pick a winner, and I will post it in. I'll post it in the group, and I'll post it on the page. And whichever one Facebook lets me do, I'll make sure to tag you. And you can then, whoever wins, you can tell me what color you want, because I have oodles of colors of Cuddle. And I'll send you a kit with everything you need to make your own Hello Gorgeous zipper bag. And it'll have in it a USB with the Designs by Babymoon logo on it, because that's just ridiculous. And I think they're adorable. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sipping and sewing along with us tonight, and thank you for hanging out in spite of the tech difficulties. So I hope you all have a great weekend. It was nice to hang out with you, and I appreciate all of you so much. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.